welcome to Move Through the Holidays. Today we're going to work on your mid-back mobility. I desperately need this one today, so it'll be good. Per usual, all you need is your mat, and you don't have to have a pillow today, but if you are uncomfortable on your hands and knees, then some sort of cushion under your knee might be helpful. Let's build stability for your hypermobility. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to get into kind of a wide stance, but go do what works for your anatomy. Some people need to have a closer knee stance. For me, if I'm too close, my knees dislocate. So we're going to do a wide stance, and then I'm going to bring my hips back, so kind of a child's pose, but instead of our arms outstretched, we're going to tuck your forearms under, sort of push back. So we're not here, we're pushing back to make sure our low back is sort of locked out. We're going to bring our shoulders up, back, towards our bottom, and then into the ground. So I'm feeling my core doing its thing, not sucking, not squeezing. We're just holding in this position. And let's take a couple of deep breaths. So try to sit back into the hips. Deep breath. And what I'm trying to do is breathe up towards the ceiling, so towards my back. I'm trying to expand the back side of my rib cage. So readjust your shoulders if you need to. Push your hips back if you need to. Kind of breathe into like your bra line. So not quite a cat-cow, but sort of, if that helps as far as a visual, kind of coming up and back to neutral, but with our breath. Okay, we're going to do 3 more of those. My arms are going to sleep, so I'm actually going to allow my forearms to come a little closer together. Find a comfortable position for you. And one more deep breath in the back. Our pelvic floor is also sort of moving down, so we take a breath in. Okay. We are going to kind of stay in this position, put one hand on your head. You're going to rotate that elbow up towards the ceiling. Things to think about. Your mid-back is doing the work. We don't want your shoulder to just move. The elbow is following the mid-back. So some people kind of go here. That's not really much mid-back. It may even help to hold your elbow down. Rotate your mid-back. Rotate, rotate, rotate. And the shoulder is literally just following. All the work is here. The reason we are down in a child's pose is to try to keep the movement in our mid-back and not our low back. If this position is not comfortable for you, you can do it on hands and knees. I just tend to find that people turn with their neck or their low back too much if we don't have that locked out. So just keep that in mind, but work with your individual anatomy. All right. We're here. We are up. So some of you are going to move this far. Then you're going to take that deep breath back into the back of the ribcage and back down. And then we're going to go again and see if each time we can get even like a millimeter farther using your breath to mobilize. Other thing to be aware of is what's happening with your hips when your arm comes up. Are you shifting to one side? Are you shifting away? Try to keep your weight relatively equal in your hips. All right, one more. All right, I'm just going to give my body just a little break, and we're going to go to the other side. This one's really difficult for me today. This one fluctuates a lot for me. So It's a good one. It's one of my favorite, but it's very difficult. So we're going to try the other side. So kind of get into your position. Shoulders, hips towards the ceiling. Usually one side is more than the other. And I'm also still sort of pushing my hips back the whole time. Here, breathe. Down slowly. Keep it in the middle range. You know, you could probably come here, but it doesn't mean you're doing it right. Try to keep everything really active. So my weight, I'm noticing my weight is shifting to the right as my right elbow comes up. So I'm actually going to shift my hips back to the left a little bit. Down slowly. Little break. You got 3 more. Other thing just to be aware of is the stabilizing shoulder, that you're not doing, putting that in a compromised position. So we can do that by making sure our mid back is doing the work, not the low back. All right, just gonna squeeze my muscles. We're gonna come back and forth. So anytime we're on hands and knees, do what you feel like you need. So I'm on a squishy surface, which is not ideal. So I'm going onto my fist to keep my wrist neutral. Some of you are going to be totally fine extending your wrist. Others, maybe it helps to hold on to something. So if you have a dumbbell that you can just literally sit here and hold, that's an option as well. So we don't want your wrist to be aggravated. One other option is to have your hand flat, take a towel roll, and put it gently under your wrist just so it's a little bit less extension. I'm going to stick with fists. All right, so we're going to just start here and figure out our positioning. So shoulders up, sink down towards the table, shoulders towards our bottom, and punch into the ground. Tuck your toes under and breathe. What I'm feeling is a little bit of work in my shoulders. And as I get tired, I start sinking down, and that's what we want to try to prevent. So every so often, reset those shoulders up, back, down, forward, here. When I'm here, I feel this area of my body working, pressing away without me deliberately sucking, pulling, anything. It has to do with where my trunk is positioned in comparison to my shoulders. All right, some of you just holding this as like a plank. You could do it on the wall as well, just hands on the wall, if this position is difficult for you. So some of you are going to stay here, and that's great. I'm going to show you the next advancement, so I'm just going to give, pushing my hips back, a little deep breath, a little modified child's pose. All right, we're going to come up, take a deep breath in. As you blow out, your thumb comes up diagonally here. Breathe in as we go down. Blow out. Breathe in. Blow out. 2 things. If you are getting a popping sensation in here, focus on the mid back doing the work. You can also adjust your hand positioning if you need to turn your palm until that popping doesn't happen. Stabilizing arm is also working. So the stabilizing arm might start to sink down. I'll show you on this. Might start to sink down, or you might sink forward. Reset that shoulder blade push actively into the ground. If you have hyperextended elbows, my elbows do not hyperextend, I would focus on a little bit more elbow creases in. The more your elbow creases are forward, the more you're going to hang on the joint. I think maybe there are times that you can do that. But part of what we're doing is trying to find a neutral position. So keep that in mind. All right, we're going to do 3 on the other side. Find your starting position, up, back, down, forward. Breathe in. As you blow out, lift diagonally. Breathe in. Blow out. Breathe in. Blow out. All right, let's go to your side. Alrighty. Got my Jellie Bend on today, of course. Make sure you remember to comment at the end for a chance to win yours. Just got a good back pop. Whew. All right, so laying on your side, I'm using my arm to support my neck. A pillow might be nice, but you don't have to. You can just use your arm, just be comfortable. You're gonna pull your knees up pretty high. If you feel like you need extra feedback, then now's a good time to have your back against the wall, against something, or you could take a foam roller and put it between the wall and your hip. So I'll scoot back towards the wall to kind of demonstrate. So my butt's touching the wall, but my knees are forward. I'm going to come here. So basically you're going to pretend like you have a bow and arrow and you're pulling your elbow back. So I'm still doing that motion. I'm just going to support my neck. So we're here, pull. When you get to where your elbow is in line with your side, that's where the mid back starts moving. Sure, you could probably extend your shoulder all day, but our goal is to rotate the mid back without rotating your hip too far backwards. You want to try to keep the hips forward. So once you find where the wall is with your hips, bring your hips forward a little. Bring this top knee forward a little. So if your hips touch the wall, then we're losing the stability in your lower body. So you're going to keep that. You're going to come here, keep the hips pushing forward, and then bring the mid back. I'm feeling nice and locked up in here. Once you find that point of tension, you're going to take a deep breath in and out. Sometimes when we exhale, we can move a little farther. I'm still pressing my hips forward. If I start rolling back, my hips are going to touch the wall. Come back. Let me get this situated. Come back to neutral. All right. Reset, pull, rotate, hips press forward, rotate, rotate. I feel it in my rib cage. Deep breath in and out. My neck is also really not doing much. And back to neutral. My rib cage is very locked up today. That's okay. One more. So 3 breaths this time. Here, pull, hips forward, back, breath in and out. And these breaths are really as high as you can tolerate is good. You can still do lower belly breaths, but the more we breathe up, the more we can unlock that mid back. But sometimes they can be really painful. All right, let's do another breath. And one more. Back to neutral. All right, other side. You could just rotate all the way over. I'm gonna come this way so you can sort of see what's happening. I'm gonna bring my hips to barely touch the wall. Then I'm gonna keep my knees bent 45-ish degrees. Some of you are gonna need to be up to 90 degrees to lock out your low back, and that's fine. Push this top hip forward a little so it is not touching the wall. We want to keep it away from the wall at this point. Here, elbow to your side. You can even like hold your elbow in at your chest and then rotate. And that's all I got today. Deep breath in and out. Oops, my hips touched the wall. So hips are going to roll back forward. And back to center. All right, 2 more of those, 3 rests each. Here, reset, pull. Hips are pressing forward. There we go, something released that time. It's okay if your elbow hits the wall a little bit, but the wall is also here to protect our elbows from going back too far. But as you unlock this range, yeah, I'm going to start touching the wall with my upper body. I still want to try to keep my lower body away. All right, sorry, reset. One more. Here. Pull, breathe. And back to neutral. Let's go back onto your hands and knees. We're going this way this time. Find your neutral position. Knees under hips. Wrists under shoulders. Up, back, down, forward. Take a deep breath in. Let your belly sink in. As you blow out, push away from the ground, and you're going to gently squeeze your knees together. If you want a little bonus, add a ball between your knees here. Or a pillow. Oh, I've noticed that my shoulders are up to here. Let me reset. There we go. Here. Other thing is, in the upward portion of the movement, my neck is going to stop here. We are not hyperextending our neck. Nope, nope, nope. Just a little forward. Back down. If you get dizzy, you've gone way too far. Breath in. And as you can tolerate, we want a little bit more work in your arms. And then you can kind of even out how much you can tolerate between your knees and your arms. But trying to get the shoulder blades going. My feet are flat this time. Sometimes I tuck my toes over under to kind of help stabilize a little bit more if I need a little extra help. All right, a couple more of these. Reset. Deep breath in. Blow out. Reset. Don't go to end range. When you're at end range, things get uncomfortable. Keep it significantly less, at least half of what you think you should do as you're learning these movements. Breathe in and blow out. All right, we've got one more. You can sit however you would like. You can do it standing as well, but sitting is ideal. If you sit in a chair with your feet flat on the floor, that's going to probably give you the best feedback. You want to feel both hips on the chair, both feet on the floor. I'm going to show you a seated version on just like a mat. So I'm just going to crisscross. But basically, you want to feel both sit bones into the ground at all times so that we're not using our low back. If this position is uncomfortable on your hips, then you can use a pillow or like a yoga block or a blanket to prop your hips up a little bit, and that creates more space if you get pinchy hips. All right, so arms kind of crossed. You can come here, you can come here, just because of the microphone. I'm going to come a little lower. Still going to pull my shoulders kind of up, back, down, forward a little. Okay, this is where it gets fun. We're trying to only move our mid back. So I feel both of my hips, both booty cheeks on the ground. I'm going to rotate to the left. That's all that I have. Sure, I could do this, but when we're truly talking about mid-back range of motion, that's where I stop. And it's going to take some time to learn kind of where to stop and what's moving, but keep it small. Okay, so rotate to the left, side bend. I'm feeling some tightness there. You're going to extend, so come back. Keep those hips on the ground. You're going to come all the way around as you gently rotate to the right. Side bend to the right. Come forward. When we're coming to the side, you may notice that hip wants to come up. Don't let it happen. Back to center, and then we're going to reverse. So rotate to the right, and side bend. Extend while we're starting to rotate to the left. Side bend to the left. Keep rotating. Come forward. And back to the center. And just to follow things off, I'm going to do a little back pop. And that's all we're going to do for today. So feel free to go through any of those movements. Again, it's a lot of really technical stuff. And comment if you completed the workout today for a chance to win a Jellie Bend and one of my services. I hope your rib cage and mid-back feels a little bit more unlocked after doing that. I know mine was very tight and it feels a lot better than it did. So it doesn't have to be really fancy stuff. We can do some really simple movements and get a lot of benefit out of it. So I will see you tomorrow.